but we need, yes, to make mothers the difficulties and the challenges that a mother who would like to be a mother, a fulfilled mother, and also a fulfilled maybe a career woman, or to continue in her working life outside the home, more visible, so that we as policymakers address these many, and yes, individual even or small groups, the many challenges of different groups that they encounter each and every day.
Yes, I have become a mother 2 months ago, and I can agree that becoming a mother is a total change of life, as we have seen in the demonstration here before. It's a positive change of life. For the 3 years, we have been married for 3 years with our children. It was totally different. Before, we used to wake up in the morning, prepare myself, go to work, go to court, and then my political activities in the evening. And now our priority is Georgia, is our daughter. We have to, when we are going to take a decision, the family decision, the priority now is our daughter. So yes, it's a total change in our lives. And now I can look at the problems mothers face every day in a different perspective.
And I would like to share an experience with you that I had this week, precisely this week, during a dialogue and a consultation meeting with children who are 9 years old about the National Children's Policy, which is at the consultation phase now. And what the children expressed, and I wrote them down purposely while I was there, because I knew children were expressing themselves like that, but thinking about this conference, I said, I have to, list what these 9-year-old children are saying, because it is so very relevant.
When I was young, I felt that, the most important thing for my father was that to get money for home. And actually, what I have learned is that if you don't spend time with your children, you would have lost so much time of their life.
When I started at 16 years, when I started at my family business, I was one of the 2 females in a company of about 100 people at that time. Today, it's the other way around. We still have more male employees, but more women are in the business now, so it's different. I'll try to find the best balance possible. It's not always very, very easy. Juggling from work, especially when the children are much younger. Now they're older, so it's much easier. But when they're young, it's not that easy, because the priority is the children. So you have sometimes to sacrifice a bit work and give more time to your family.
Because when I ask for extra time, they do that. One case in particular, yesterday morning, I had to go late for work because my daughter, who's now 28, is not a baby anymore, but she needed me because she's totally scared stiff of needles and she had to take a blood test. So I went with her. It's a good thing I did, because she started crying like a little baby. I couldn't believe it. She's so scared, but I was there with her. I think we women have to make plans for our kids, whatever age they are, babies, teenagers, older children. They're still our children, and we have to give them attention and time to be with them.
When you yourselves are grandparents, and that's not very far off, time flies. And my sister-in-law was a grandparent at 36, and she was raising kids all the time. And now she is a great-grandmother in her 60s, and that's not very far off. She is a great-grandmother, and she's still raising children. So it's an issue which needs to be addressed. As regards myself, I go and pick children. Sometimes I send one of my staff members to pick 3 kids from school, and then they come to the factory. We help them do their homework, so when their mommy comes from work, the homework is ready and they can have quality time. And for me, quality time is talking mostly.
So the employee can choose to take the remainder immediately before, that is fine, but 6 weeks after date of birth have to be taken immediately after date of birth. That is compulsory. And it has to be taken at a stretch. It is consecutive. It cannot be stored in different periods throughout the year, for example. It doesn't work that way.
I never felt that I was not giving her something like any other mother was, basically, because I knew she was in a happy environment. My mother looked after her. She was always looking forward to seeing me after school. I could spend, after I finished work, I could spend my time with her. I continued studying whilst she was very young, you know, I never stopped studying. And this fact, I really believe it helped her as well develop as a person.
The decision was taken all together. Listen, I was only too young, but everybody else contributed towards, yes, Mummy, we need to have this business, you need to do something about it, because there really isn't a healthy drink, we really believe in it. The name was given by my children, so there's your answer, they're always very much involved. But the good feeling was always there. The lady who mentioned the good feeling before, I couldn't stop nodding. And it goes back to the way we are brought up. It goes back to our culture. Because I feel guilty when I give too much to my work and not enough to my children.
A friend of mine got on from it, they say, how different, what changed, what made it change? And if I look back, and this is perhaps answering a bit of your question as well, what changed? What made it different? It's been, well, a number of things.
When I started working, I did feel that sense of guilt as well, but at the end I also learned that loving myself and doing what is most important for me, for my well-being, and at the time was starting to build a career again or continue to building it, and was most important for my well-being. If I felt good with myself, then my kid would understand and would feel good about himself, we'll be happy together. I tried to make the most out of our time together, the importance of quality time. For example, later I decided that I have to start taking up exercise again, because I had stopped for a number of years. So what I did is, instead of choosing gym, I chose jogging. I go jogging and my son on bicycle.
So what you requested to do once you go back is still the same. So if I was working on 10 different things before I went back to work. Once I got back to work, having reduced hours was still having the same amount of work or more. So yes, we're superwomen sometimes. We do manage a lot of things. However, then comes balance, and it does take a village to raise a kid. I do have my village, I have my parents, and my husband's parents who help out, and my husband helps out.
So we are not going to conclude. What I'd like us to see is maybe a beginning. Because what usually happens at conferences like this is that people meet people get inspired, and then later on we find that other things have developed.